networking can come in a lot of different forms, and for me, there's lots of different ways and means to build a relationship with someone. So I do a lot of networking myself. I go to a lot of networking events. I've been part of networking teams, networking clubs, business networks, stuff like that. And for me, it's not about the going and trying to make friends with everyone at these events that you go to, or trying to make sure that you're everyone's best mate in that room. You just have to focus on building relationships with people that have a similar mindset. So I think that there's a lot of value in that. And where a lot of PTs, when they get involved in the industry, go wrong, in my opinion, is they don't utilize a business to business model. They always go business to consumer. So they'll always go and look for that first client and try and get the sale from that first client. Whereas what I try and push with my PTs is for them to go and find that client that is going to, or find that business or that relationship that's going to bring you 5 clients, 10 clients, instead of just focusing on getting that one client over the line.
So guys, in terms of revenue streams, one of the best things that you can do, we believe, because it's what we want you to do, is to add education to your product offering. If you're a personal trainer who's got a bit of experience and who's been in the industry for a while, you're actually sitting on really valuable information. You know yourself, if you could go back in time and speak to the freshly qualified you, what sort of advice would you give them to fast track them and to give them a head start so that they don't make all the same mistakes as you have? Now that might seem trivial, and obviously you can't go back in time and speak to your younger self, but there is actually a way of making really good income by passing on the information that you already know to people who are looking to get into the fitness industry. You've probably heard the term entrepreneur. Well, the last year kind of saw the surge of the kind of infopreneur, and you probably have seen a lot of people selling courses and a lot of people passing on their way that they got rich or their way to make $10,000 a month drop shipping and stuff like that. Look, that's not what this is. We're not here trying to sell a get rich quick scheme. We're here trying to add a legitimate revenue stream to your personal training business, which is sustainable. It's recession proof education. It's going to stand the test of time. It's something that you can do alongside personal training without having to go and delve into loads of different things. You don't have to start trading crypto or something to become successful in this. It's taking what you're already doing and just mentoring, just passing that information on to somebody else. And it's really beneficial. What
I found when I got involved with the mentorship was I actually got involved coming into winter, which, as you know, in our industry, people start sort of prioritizing money going into Christmas, and the motivation drops this time of year. It's cold, it's dark. So there's a natural drop in the fitness industry in terms of revenue when it gets to, say, especially the end of November, but say middle of November through to January, when obviously we get all the new year, new me starts. But where it benefited me was that there was none of that. There was none of that drop for me in terms of revenue, because when I got involved in this, the drop in motivation for people to train might have happened, but people are there's always motivation in education. People always want to learn. So I found that it actually covered me for the darker times of the fitness industry.
Absolutely. Everybody knows that when it starts getting to Christmas, if you're in the fitness industry, it's squeaky bum time, because you know that people are going to start dropping out. You know that money that you think is going to come in might not, because people are going to start redirecting their funds to Christmas. Like you said there, motivation's dropping, it's getting colder, the no-shows start kicking in, people who train 2-3 times a week are dropping down to 1. All of those things don't have a very sudden impact on finances necessarily, but the difference between Joe Bloggs, who used to pay every 5 weeks, to now paid in October and isn't going to pay again until the end of January, it can really affect cash flow. So we want to be able to give personal trainers the opportunity to supplement their income in those times, flourish in times that it's good, because, through your network, if you can find a couple of people who want to become personal trainers each month to mentor, the revenue's there constantly, and it doesn't matter if it's December, it doesn't matter if it's, you know, school holidays and people are going away. The education side of things is going to be there because there's always people who are looking to jump into it. And I mean, we'll talk about the kind of revenue potential that there is as someone who wants to become a mentor as well. I'm sure, obviously, you started, your first month was October?
Started at the end of October.
End of October.
Yeah. So started at the end of October. It's now the end of December. And I've made just under 15 grand from essentially 2.5 months, if that. There was actually November. It was actually a quiet month, if you remember, for me, because there was a lot going on, obviously, with the gym and stuff like that. I had a few that storm damage in the gym and all of this, so I actually didn't put as much effort as what I did at the end of October or in December, and I've still made that amount of money. I
think as well, probably, until you kind of came on board properly, you wanted to see the first payments come in. Yeah, so I think that's always the kind of, you want to know that the hard work that you're putting into getting students and mentoring them actually equates to the revenue as well. Yeah, I feel like when you first got that first payment, I feel like that's when we saw like the massive change in you, and obviously then you're like, right, I'm coming on board. Yeah,
as soon as I seen the first payment come in, that was when I started to think a little bit outside of the box in terms of where I was going to find these leads from. October, I'd sort of exhausted my my list. I came up with a list of people, and then got a good amount of people on board at the end of October. But then you kind of run out of like just personal leads of people you know or people you can think of. Then once I seen that first, wasn't too bad in November, but then once I seen that first pay come in, that's when I thought, right, I'm gonna have to really think outside the box. I started to kick on a little bit more myself with it.
And I mean, that's from spending, you know, a couple of hours per week focused on getting people on and doing the mentoring and things. I think we're not trying to get people to completely ditch what they're doing in terms of personal training, and I'd never advise that, because then you don't have your hand in the industry anymore. And obviously the main idea behind the mentorships is that because you're in the public eye as a personal trainer, you're the go-to person when somebody wants to do a course, to come and ask you, to come and speak to you about it. If you're a personal trainer now, you've probably had loads of people ask you where you did your course, people who are interested in getting into it. You can capitalize on that instead of just saying, oh, go there. You can literally be like, come to me and I'll mentor you. Because realistically, if they're asking you, then they probably want to learn from you. But it's definitely a way of supplementing your income. I mean, if Joe can make just under 15 grand in 2 and a bit months,
that's literally, for me, I think I've said to you before, I'll never not PT. I love PTing. So it's not just about sort of the revenue from personal training. But if we actually look at the figures on kind of how it all works now, is that like that 45 quid that I'm getting for that one-to-one session's great. But I can spend a couple of hours just at home or in bed or in
Bali
and wherever I want.
That's what this is turning into.
Bali.
You're going to be in Bali. Listen. Okay, full disclosure. You're going to be in Bali. You're going to be in Bali and you're going to be making money from your laptop. That's what this is all about. And
nice little picture.
We're going to set up a crypto scam and you're going to fall for it. You're in a hot tub in Bali. You're going to fall for our crypto scam. And when you find out about it, it's going to be too late and we're going to be gone. Okay? But
the company closed.
The company's closed. It's fucking gone. I've left the country. I'm never coming back. So get that out of your head. So I think to supplement your personal training income with something that's very close to what you're doing already. I feel like too often I'll see personal trainers and they know that it's the right thing to do to diversify their income. They know that it makes sense. But they try and go too far away from the fitness industry. And before you know it, you've just got two very different jobs. You know, you've set up something that's totally different, that doesn't use any of the same skills. And, you know, it just might not work out right. But I think, there's other ways of, you've made money from this on top of that.
Yeah, well, actually using the mentorship as leverage. So I've been able to take on quite a lot of PTs now for the gym, so I'm getting more staff, which will get me some time back doing shifts. I've then been, some of them are coming on rents, some of them are coming on to shifts. It means I've got not only more time back, it means there's more revenue coming into the gym. What I'm also doing is, because it's allowing me to get a little bit off the gym floor myself in terms of personal revenue, I'm able to pass on clients to these PTs and then take a percentage of their revenue as well. So it actually, you can use it as leverage to open up different avenues of ways to make money.
Absolutely. I mean, we had a gym over in the Northwest, and they thought to themselves straight away. So he struggled to find qualified personal trainers who were willing to fit into his system. So he saw this as a total opportunity to train up PTs to be exactly what he wanted from them in terms of doing his group training and being a PT in his gym. And he was even saying he would mentor them for free in order to kind of get these people in. And I was saying, no, well, you'll actually get paid for the mentoring. And he was saying, well, when they qualify, well, he's actually had 4 of them qualify and work out of his gym, and I think they pay him about £400 a month in rent. So he's saying, well, so he's making an extra £1,600 a month from those 4 PTs renting his gym. He had more students than that, but they're the ones that he handpicked. And he was going, well, what do you want from the £1,400 a month? And I was going, nothing, literally nothing to do with me. That's yours. So he's going, so wait a minute. I've got £1,600 a month, for my gym from these guys. I've been paid for mentoring them. He was like, how many can I do? And I was like, literally as many as you want. It's just, once you open the Pandora's box of seeing this work and getting, people who you'd probably spend your time mentoring for free anyway, if you're a gym owner, a gym manager, someone who's going to be kind of taking people on, it's just an absolute no-brainer to get paid from it. And then you can get that monthly recurring revenue if they rent the gym space from you, if they come underneath you as a personal trainer. Look, you might be getting to the point where you're at the 40 hours a week. People are inquiring, you don't have any space. You take on an academy of 5 students, pick the 2 best, fill their diary, get a percentage of what they're making, and before you know it, you're now technically getting paid for 80 hours a week of personal training, but you're only delivering 40 of it because you're getting paid from other people. So I feel like it's an amazing way to just start building an actual business around your personal training, sole trader business.